Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to fix your leaky aluminum boat with some JB Weld. The materials you're going to need are these JB Weld, marine weld, and make sure to get the marine weld stuff as it holds better in water, and it has, I think it's rated up to 5,000 psi. And then you will need either a plastic putty knife or a metal putty knife, or just something to spread the JB Weld with. Now what this is a two-part epoxy, so you mix half, a little bit of this and a little bit of this, equal parts from each tube, and then you'll get your proper JB Weld that you'll use on your boat. And I'll show you how to do that a little later. Some other things that you might need are some metal brushes. They're not necessary on every boat, but on my boat, some of the holes have already been tried to patch, and it's better to get that away and then rough up the surface a little bit with some sandpaper or some brushes just to help this stick a little bit. And here's some specifications. And this is the marine weld, marine epoxy from JB Weld. It's about $12 at the hardware store. So without further ado, let's go fix my boat. What I'm doing is I'm just taking off the excess, the old caulking, because you don't want to put that JB Weld right on top of your caulking because it won't stick and it'll probably end up falling off at some point. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just taking it off with an old X-Acto knife, a cheap one. I think it was 6 X-Acto knives for for like $5 or something. It was really cheap, so I wouldn't use a expensive one on here because it just dulls it and breaks the blade and everything. What would be better is a wire brush, but I couldn't find my wire brushes, so I just used this instead, and then some sandpaper after. And how you actually find the leaks in the boat is, what I did is I actually put the lake inside the boat. So I filled my boat up with water, and then I just marked the places that were leaking. So yeah, you just want to make sure to get all that off. As you can see there, I got it all off. It's pretty good now, just around the crack. All the excess stuff, I mean, I'm just doing a quick job. It doesn't have to be too bad. And this is the other spot. I'm just doing the same thing. I'm taking off that first layer with the knife. So now I'm going at it with some sandpaper. I think I'm using 120 grit here, but you can use 80 grit or 60 grit as long as it's lower grit, because you want to scratch up the metal a little bit so the JB Weld actually has something to stick to. And I'm doing it here as well, just quickly scratching it up. And as you can see, you don't have to be perfect with the X-Acto knife. The sandpaper gets most of it off anyway afterwards. Now be careful, you gotta make sure to get all that dust off of the place where you're gonna put your JB Weld, because it'll prevent it from sticking. So now what I have is a yogurt container to mix the JB Weld in. I actually just put it on the putty knife this time. I do not recommend using a yogurt container because it does not work very well. But this is pretty easy. You just put half and half of the epoxy. It doesn't have to be exact. It's just a rough thing, and then you mix them up until they're sort of in this gray color, as you'll see here. And then I just put it on. I ended up having to make a little bit more for this one because I did not put enough on. So it works pretty well. You just definitely want to get it in that crack of the aluminum. If you have a crack or around that loose rivet, you want to cover the whole thing pretty well. I ended up making a lot more, and I mixed the epoxy on a flat piece of plastic, which is so much easier than the yogurt container. So make sure you have a flatter piece of plastic. So much easier to mix it, and this time I definitely had enough, probably a little bit too much, so I ended up scraping a little bit of it off and using it for the rivet underneath. So now I'm just quickly doing the other one. You can see this one's a lot easier because it's not right on, it's on a flatter spot right there on the rivet, and you can easily just put that JB Weld on there and run it across, and it does quite a good job of sealing it up. And here they are all dried, and this is actually pretty hard. Same with this one down here. This one turned out a little better. This is not JB Weld. This came from the guy who had the boat before, and it's some sort of caulking or something, and it's kind of rubbery, and it kind of scratches away with a fingernail. The JB Weld is rock hard. This one's not too pretty, but I think it'll work. And this one looks pretty good. I hope this video helped you. If you have any other suggestions for tutorials I should make, please leave them down in the comments. That would be awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.